We're going to be talking about the male brain, so of course that conversation will eventually involve sex. So you may want to send the kids out of the room for the next few minutes of our show. Now, why do men do the things they do? I mean, women wonder this all the time. Or if you're a man, women probably confuse you from time to time. I mean, odds are, whichever gender you are, the other gender sometimes seems a complete mystery to you, and that is no accident. There's a new book out, this one right here, that talks about how the male brain is wired, how it works, and that it is, in fact, completely different than the female. Understanding those differences is, of course, the key to us getting along better, so please welcome to our show the author of The Male Brain. She's a female, Dr. Louann Grizendine. And Dr. Louann, incidentally, not to make a pun about it, but she's literally written the book on the male brain, and it's the follow-up book to the book she wrote on the female brain. So you've literally written the book on everybody's one of these.
Whoa, yes.
I just lost whatever that is.
Yes, the female brain and the male brain, as we know, are wired differently. And we start off all with female-type brain circuits until 8 weeks old, when the tiny testicles, as the brain is being formed in the fetus. The male brain circuits get formed because of this huge testosterone and genetics that makes circuitry for the male brain. And you'll see here that the circuits are actually different in the male and female.
So everybody's brain starts out wired for female. Then, as the fetus develops the testicles, the brain changes in the fellas.
At about 8 weeks old,
8 weeks.
there's like a tsunami of testosterone from the tiny testicles that marinates the male brain.
Marinates the male brain.
Yes. It's a cooking show, right?
It is a cooking show. Good job. It sounded a little Hannibal Lecter, but it was a really good job. Now, in my way of thinking, I've always thought that, you know, I don't know if this is from movies or chat shows or what, but I've always thought that, that the male brain is very linear and that women think in a very circular pattern. Is that true?
Well, actually, what we know, when we take a look at this brain here, this is the
piece that dropped on the floor.
Front of the brain, right?
Yeah.
Where we make our decisions, and the back of the brain is our visual circuitry, where we get to see the world and perceive the world. Inside deep is the sexual center, the emotion center, the fear center, the anger center. So that's the brain. And in males, the only difference when you looked at it from the outside is they're 9 or 10% larger than the female brain.
The male brain is larger than the female brain.
It's larger than the female brain.
Don't you all enjoy knowing that?
That's right, that's right. However, we have the same number of cells they do. They're just corseted into a smaller skull.
Oh, so we're just as smart, we just pack it in there.
We just pack it better, right? We just pack it.
Gotcha. So, it's not at all about how we're raised. There are definite differences between male and female brains.
Oh, yes, and let me show you.
Yeah, we have an actual brain scan,
We have an actual brain scan, and I wanted the women in the audience to be able to see the world through male-colored glasses today by the time we're finished. So I'm
okay, don't throw any whiskers on us.
No whiskers on you, but because you may be shocked at what you're going to see. So let's take a look here at our male brain here. You see, for example, when a man is solving a problem in the brain scanner. So we're going to take a look here. We're going to start here, right in this blue area. He'll start back here in the back part of the brain, visually seeing it, and go straight in a linear fashion to the front of the page.
It is. He is a linear thinker then, literally.
He is, literally. And there he comes, 1, 2, 3. He makes a decision and forms the problem. The answer is there. The female, on the other hand, will start back there, and she'll think a little bit up here, and then she might come back around into kind of a circle, and then she'll come all the way, and she will come up with the same answer, but she's taken more things into consideration than he did.
Now, what about the emotional differences? Because they're really big, right?
Now, that's the biggie,
yeah.
I think, for most women, is they think, why can't a man's emotions be more like a female? So I want to show you this particular scan here. I've got to touch my little thing here and clear it. So the blue side, we're going to see these red and green areas down here. These are more kind of the emotional circuits in the male brain.
Okay.
And you look over at the female, and she's using lots of different areas and sides of her brain.
Yeah,
she's ding, 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 ding. It looks like a Christmas tree, right? And these are the emotional circuits in the female brain. So she may be considering more nuance, more aspects than he is. in terms of tone of voice and facial expressions, females are always looking at the little details of where his eyes are really looking or what's going on behind the look he's giving.
Does that make women prone to paranoia more than men? Like, are we reading too much sometimes into things?
We are reading too much. If you could put on male-colored glasses and look at the world, it might look a little simpler to you.
A little
nuance,
cleaner edge.
the emotional nuance may not get you going in that circle so much if you were a guy.
Now, boys, we're not calling you simple-minded.
No. You're just more direct, and like when you come and you say to your guy, hey, honey, this had happened at work, whatever you're all upset about, and he's saying, you know what you should do. He doesn't say that. But little thing every girlfriend would like to hear him say is like, honey, I know how you feel.
Yeah.
So my husband has a little yellow stick here on his computer. It says, honey, I know how you feel.
I love that. She programmed him to say what the female wants to hear. It's brilliant. It's fabulous.
It actually feels good when they say it, even if it's scripted.
I know, but I think it's great. I think it's great. So now let's get to what's, I can tell just by looking down at the pictures.
Yes.
Let's talk about how the male brain perceives sex as opposed to the female brain. Not a shocker when you see all the colors going on here.
Okay.
You got to refresh the thing so the whole class
We're going to
can see.
refresh this piece so you guys can see it. Now, I'm going to show you something that's really, really important. The key difference, ladies, in the male brain here.
Look at it. Women are already cracking up. They don't even know what it means.
Remember I told you the brain is marinated in testosterone.
Marinated in testosterone.
So there's a technical area in the male brain that grows larger because of being fertilized in testosterone. It's called the area for sexual pursuit.
The area for sexual pursuit.
Now, that's a technical scientific name, believe it or not, and it's obvious what it's for. Now, take a look at this scan. This is the male and female brain and sexual arousal. We're going to take a look at the male brain. Remember I told you how back here, the visual circuits back here in this area that's 2.5 times larger.
Well, he's examining
Look at that,
isn't he?
And look over at the female. I mean, she's got some stuff going on. She might look at a hunky guy and that kind of stuff. But if you look down here as the thing proceeds, here he is in the stage 3. He's still got all that going on. And, you know, it may take her a little bit longer to get going. Right? She gets there, but it kind of takes a little bit more warm-up, right?
Yeah. So men have, according to that, their sexual pursuit center is way more active than a woman.
Yes, I think one thing to remember by looking at this. Now, if you were, I've got a tip for women. So listen up, ladies. It's about wardrobe choice. Okay, and it's based on the male brain. So you see this big hot area right here, that hot red area? That's him scanning all the time. You know, it's kind of like a TV screen that's always on in a sports bar. His mind is always kind of screening for the curvaceous female and the cleavage and the, you know, the female body parts.
The TNA.
Yeah, TNA. So if you're at work and you're wanting to go to a work function and you want him to take you seriously, the guys in your office take you seriously.
Button up.
Button up, baby. And if you want to do the dating scene, fine, like show as much cleavage and as hips as possible. You'll get his attention. As a matter of fact, men even sort of lose their focus for a moment. As my teenage son said as he started seeing girls come to class with whatever, he says, Mom, it's really bad. I feel embarrassed. I can't take my eyes off of them.
I can't take my eyes off of them.